Hey, how you doing? I'm Dr. Dave Welch with Paragon Chiropractic, and welcome back to this week's video blog. As promised, this one is on fasting, and this week's blog's entitled, Get on the Fast Track to Fasting. How about that? Well, I hope you enjoyed that last video, and we talked about things that a person can do to handle chronic inflammation and pain, and that is the Ultra InflammX Plus. It's a tremendous product, and that taken in compilation with the SPMs, which stands for Specialized Pro-Resolving Mediators. Your body actually makes these. This just helps a greater concentration, and it helps resolve. It doesn't make inflammatory pain go away. It helps resolve the inflammation and the injury. So amazing stuff. All right, so and you really want to start doing things like that more, because it's much better to try and pursue health and wellness and to study and work in that direction than to try and treat diseases and illnesses. Just because you don't a certain illness goes away or you had a surgery doesn't necessarily make you healthy. Think about that for a second. Good. All right, so I'm going to read through this. There's quite a bit of material here. I want to go as fast as I can and make sure that you understand this. Good. So if you would like, I have posted many video blogs discussing the problems with chronic inflammation, elevated blood sugar, and chronic illness. And the main problem is not that they all cause pain. Please take a moment to review those past video blogs, or you can always reach out to us and we can help get your mind right about all the stuff that will eventually, or at least currently, has the Grim Reaper licking his chops thinking about you. Yeah, that's not good. You don't want that. You don't want the Grim Reaper licking his chops thinking about you. At any rate, if you recall from last week, and we talked about it again, I presented two products that can make a huge difference in taming uncontrolled chronic inflammation and elevated blood sugar levels. I will show you these once again, and this one is Ultra InflammX Plus 360, which is an amazing product. You'll see it's called a medical food. So the FDA has approved this for treating diseases and disorders, which is really good. And then we have the SPMs, which we also talked about. If you want, go down to the description section in this video, and you will find a website there that you can order those products directly from the company for convenience. And I think they give you a little bit of a discount. So that would be something you'd want to look into. So, or you can always come by and we've got them here. So here's the deal. So with this in mind, there's always a few other things that a person can do to help work on controlling lowering blood sugar levels, blood pressure, chronic pain, chronic inflammatory levels. Essentially, it is fasting, right? And for the sake of this discussion, I've broken it into two types of fasting. One is called time-restricted eating, which in essence is intermittent fasting. And then the other one is what I consider to be fasting proper, where you're just going many hours without eating. So we'll talk about each one of those a little bit here. But fasting is a process whereby an individual abstains from all food and drink, save of course water, for a prescribed period of time. Fasting, whether intermittent or fasting proper, turns on a physiologic function called autophagy. Ta-da! Autophagy. Fantastic. Autophagy is two words, right? Auto, which means self, and anytime you see the word phagy, it means to eat. So autophagy means self-eating and is the body's mechanism for fighting disease and strengthening the immune system. Pretty interesting. In essence, autophagy is a process whereby the old damaged cells break down and recycle their own components, like the organelles. An organelle, if you consider like your body has organs, a cell has organs too, and the organs in the cell are called organelles, right? It breaks down proteins and recycles them and other cellular material that allows for regeneration of new, healthier cells. So you go through this fasting period, your body starts to clean up all this stuff, and bingo, you regenerate new healthy cells. So without nutrients, the cells expel viruses and bacteria and get rid of the sick and the weak, as it were, and the body creates new and more robust cells to weather the anticipated hard times of an approaching famine. Wow, that's pretty intense. It's not that bad, but you get the idea, right? So while fasting in autophagy can be very beneficial in preventing cancer cells from developing in the initial stages and in making you a healthier person, it is believed that the process of autophagy tends to support and protect and promote cancer cells that are already developed and growing. And when we talk about this a little more, you'll see why. So, and this makes sense, as the process would cause a proliferation of cell growth. So autophagy and your new growth. So, and that's a problem with cancer. You don't want a whole lot of a proliferation of cell growth, right? So for autophagy to occur, the body needs to be in a fasting state. Fasting is when blood sugar levels drop low enough to force the body to make changes. Good. So let's look at intermittent fasting and fasting proper. The first one we'll start with is intermittent fasting. As has been discussed in a number of earlier videos, intermittent fasting is called time-restricted eating. And this is something that a person would do each and every day. Okay? This would mean that a person would eat only during a prescribed period of time each day, and would be that time period when that time period would be when you take your very first bite in the morning and your very last bite at night. And I do mean absolute first and last bites. So if you finish dinner at 6:30 and you have a cookie at 10 o'clock before you go to bed, 10 o'clock is when you took your very last bite. Sorry. Good. So the most beneficial time-restricted eating windows are between 11 and 8 hours each day, which means a person would eat only for 11, 10, 9, or 8 hours each day, and preferably the same hours each day, okay? Depending on the eating window, this would mean that a person would fast intermittently between 13 and 16 hours each day, and that's absolutely no food, just water during this time. Me personally, I have breakfast at 10:30 in the morning and I take my last bite at 6:30 in the evening, which makes for an 8-hour fasting, or an 8-hour window of time-restricted eating, which makes it a 16-hour fasting period. So there is much to know about time-restricted eating, and I would invite you to review the past video blogs or reach out to us at Paragon, and we'll be happy to help you through the process. So now let's look at fasting proper. Fasting proper is essentially the same as time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting, only it's much longer, but still no food at all and only water, just plain water. So here are some interesting things that occur during that fasting period. After 8 hours of fasting, the body starts to make changes. Okay, good. At 12 hours, the body begins to produce ketones, which are chemicals produced in the liver and are used as an energy source when glucose is not available. Ketones switch off hunger hormones. So this is the idea behind how the fat switch works in your body, where stored fat is converted to ketones for energy, in essence, burning off a person's stored fats. Wow, that'd be nice. Again, just reach out to us. We'll show you how to work that fat switch and how to make that go. You can just call us, come in, whatever you want to do. After 13 hours of fasting, growth hormone increases and slows the aging process and burns fat. That's amazing. So, in men, this is wild. Testosterone increases 1,300% in just a 15-hour fasting period. So why take growth hormones or testosterone when the body will do it for you if you cannot eat anything for 13 to 15 hours each day? Good. My time-restricted eating window each day is 8 hours of eating. So that means I've got 16 hours of fasting. So I'm increasing my testosterone, I'm burning fat cells, I'm getting rid of fat, I've got growth hormone going on, I'm getting rid of old dead cells and all the rest of the stuff every single day. Something else that happens in that 13 to 16 hours is that you have this protein called C-reactive protein, or CRP. Maybe you've seen this on blood studies and stuff, but what it is C-reactive protein is a protein produced in the liver in response to inflammation and is used to measure how inflamed a person is. C-reactive protein is elevated by infections, injuries, and chronic diseases, and might be an indicator of risk of heart disease and other chronic health problems. So if your C-reactive protein is elevated, you're inflamed, and you might be fodder for the Grim Reaper. So something to keep in mind. A 13-hour fast, and here's another one, a 13-hour fast can also cause a 64% decrease in breast cancer recurrence. So if a person's had breast cancer and they've recovered and all the rest of the stuff, 13-hour fast each day, 64% decrease in breast cancer recurrence. Something to think about. A 17-hour fast starts to stimulate cell repair, and aging cells are eliminated from the body. After 24 hours of fasting, the entire gut resets, and you receive intestinal stem cells that repair the entire inner lining of the gut. This would be great for people that have Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, ulcerative colitis, heartburn, all of this stuff, man. So every once in a while, 24 hours, don't eat anything. Let your body clean up all the dead stuff and put new cells in there. A 36-hour fast causes the body to find stubborn fat around the waist and burn it for energy. After 72 hours, the entire immune system resets and recycles, producing new cells. That would be really good, especially around something like this time of the year where everybody seems to have allergies and all the rest of the nonsense. Try some fasting. Don't take the dehistamines and antihistamines and all the rest of the business. Try some fasting. See what happens. Good. So here's some recommendations that are made for periods of fasting times, right? So here's what a 72-hour fast does. So basically it's 3 days, just water, and you would like to try and do this 2 times a year, which is a great way to eliminate cells that are rapidly aging a person or that could become tumors. A 48-hour fast they recommend is something that a person would want to do 1 time each quarter, so every 3 months, and what this will help with is mental issues, depression, or anxiety. Pretty wild. 36-hour fast is great for those people who are looking to lose weight and burn fat, and this is something that an individual should do maybe 1 time a month. A 24-hour or less fast, which would be your intermittent fasting or your time-restricted eating window, just kind of cleans house and takes care of a lot of things and just makes you feel pretty good. Gets your blood sugar down, handles chronic illness, chronic inflammation, and all the rest of the business. So at a bare minimum, man, just do the time-restricted eating window. All right, so there are 6 foods that are good to produce autophagy, right? Avocados, and you should always break your fast with fats. Avocado is amazing. Coffee, 1 to 4 hours after coffee, autophagy in liver, muscle, and tissue and heart tissue occurs. But you want to make sure you got good coffee, it's organic, not moldy, and all the rest of the stuff. Green tea has tremendous effects on the nervous system. Tangerine oil triggers autophagy in the nerve tissue to get rid of cancerous tumors. Olive oil is amazing. It decreases tau and beta amyloids, and beta amyloids are considered to be a cause of Alzheimer's. Just take a little shot glass, pour it in there, chug it down 1 time a day. It's amazing. Turmeric, curcumin, and you add black pepper, it causes and brings about increases autophagy in the pancreas cells. Good. So that's a lot of stuff that I just gave you, and if you didn't write it down or what did he say or anything else, there is always a written version of what I'm talking about here that you can refer to associated with this video. So you can always reach out to us and I'll be more than happy, or make a comment if you got something that you want to say or a question that you want to ask, and I'll be happy to handle it. So it's amazing all the incredible stuff that can happen with disciplined eating, and coupled with eliminating inflammatory foods like sugar, grains, grain flours, polyunsaturated vegetable oils, and trans fats during your time-restricted eating window, and in with a few months, you will be a brand new person. I mean, a brand new person. So I hate to sound like a jerk when I say all this stuff, but there really is no excuse for you being in the shape you are in, especially when there are so many things that a person can do to help themselves. So let us know and just reach out and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Again, I'm Dr. Dave. This is Paragon Chiropractic. If you think about it, hit the like button, subscribe button, and go down to the bottom and you can find that website to order the products, the Ultra InflammX, the SPMs, and vitamin D, and a lot of other things, but that'd be great. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you.